Welcome to Good Comedy Theater! Please put your hands together for We Have Fun, and welcome to the stage your host, Chip Chantry and Johnny Goodtime.
Good evening. Thank you guys so much for coming out. How are you guys? You guys good? Good. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Welcome to We Have Fun, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to have fun tonight. Small but mighty crowd here on a Monday, on a crisp Monday evening. Sit down, Johnny. Take a look.
All right, I will.
I'm Chip Chantry. This is my wonderful co-host, Johnny Goodtimes.
Nice to be here.
Yeah. You ready to have fun, Johnny?
Let's have some fun, Chip.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Halloween's in the air.
It's very in the air. It's really in the air. Oh, by the way, let's tell them let's tell them about the show.
All right, let's
do
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
So we got a good show. We got a great lineup for you today. We've got
You're in for a treat.
Brandon Vincent Jackson, one of the funniest comedians in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Terrific. Really excited to have him on the show. We've also got Steve Gerben, who was won Philly's Funniest a few years ago, I believe, and he's going to be doing some sort of existential talk.
Yes.
It sounds kind of awesome, and he wants audience back and forth with it. So be ready to go deep with that. And then Reef the Lost Cause, Philly hip hop artist Reef the Lost Cause is going to be here as well. So we got a very exciting show for you tonight, and
a couple other surprises that we'll bring along.
yeah, we got a couple of surprises too.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Halloween season.
You guys excited about Halloween?
No.
You guys ready to
You
go?
guys get dressed
no,
up?
you're not. You just hate it, right? It's sort of. I love Halloween. I liked it so much more when I was a kid. I think that's the
That's
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have. Johnny and I were talking today about how we're going to open this, and we were thinking about like our worst Halloween stories. Some of the worst. I have a story that I love that I'll start out by telling. It's not exactly a Halloween story, but it's a horror story. So I want to tell this. Totally true. It goes back to when I was about 6 years old in Wildwood, New Jersey. Does anybody remember the Dracula's Castle on the boardwalk in New Jersey, in Wildwood, New Jersey? It was called Castle Dracula. It was this like huge haunted house. It was like this crazy monstrosity on the boardwalk. It was a gigantic haunted house. And we were down when I was 6 years old for vacation in Wildwood I was like 6, my brother was 4, and we had another family friend who was down there, and they had 2 kids who were like 8 and 10 years old. And the 4 kids were there, and then the 4 parents. And all week, the kids all we wanted to do was go into Castle Dracula and like go in and get scared in the haunted house. And we were so excited. So finally, after like all week of just like begging, the 2 dads, who were not the most loving, caring dads in the world. They were just dads in the 80s. And they were like, fine, we'll take you to the fucking haunted house. And they took us the last night that we were there. And the thing that I've gleaned over the past few years, I think it's that kids and adults are scared of different things, right? Yeah, kids are more afraid of fantasy, and adults are afraid of reality. I think that's definitely, like, kids are afraid of, like, Dracula and ghosts and monsters and flying monkeys, and we are afraid of nuclear war and disease and just
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, yeah, like we're afraid of real things. So I learned that. And this story is definitely we go into this haunted house, and it was the scare. I was 6. We were so fucking scared though. Like it's like a real life. They don't hold back. Like, oh, here comes a 6-year-old. They're like, let's fucking scare the shit out of this 6-year-old.
Destroy this.
You just give them nightmares for decades. And it was so scary. I ended up jumping in my dad's friend's arms, you know, like crying. The one girl who was like 10, somebody grabbed her, like one of the monsters like grabbed her. She screamed so hard that her retainer flew out onto the dark floor. So all like 8 of us were on the floor, 6 of us are on the floor looking for the retainer. Because in fantasy, she was afraid of Dracula that jumped out of her. But in reality, her father was afraid that he's going to pay $700 to get a fucking retainer for her. And so we find the retainer. We ended up leaving out the emergency fire exit because we were so scared. Like they just pulled us out and they were just like, we don't even care, just pull it and just get these fucking kids out of here. And we were so scared. But afterwards we thought it was so cool because it's like in hindsight, we're like, oh, that was so cool, even though we were scared shitless. So we decided when we got home the next week that we were gonna have our own haunted house in the backyard. It was going to be like a backyard, haunted yard, and we were going to bring the other neighborhood kids through one night, and we were going to jump out and scare them, and we were going to lead them through. And our parents were cool enough where they're like, we're going to help you, we'll dress up, and we'll hide behind the bushes and behind this door and jump out and all that. And we were walking, it was in my backyard, and we were walking through, and my dad's friend, who was there, who I jumped into his arms, is just like this big 80s dad, beer belly, kind of rough around the edges, but nice guy. And he had like the dad outfit from the 80s. He just had this like white tank top with his beer belly hanging out and the shortest jean short, like just the shortest cutoff jeans. But he decided that he's going to climb up into the tree with a bottle of beer. He climbs up into the tree, and he was going to be the first scary attraction. As I was going to be the leader. I was going to lead these groups of kids through. And we had a bunch of like 20 kids in our neighborhood, and we were going to take them through like 5 at a time. And it was going to be the first thing. We were going to turn the corner of the back of the house, and he was going to jump out of this big tree and be like, "Rah!" and scare him. And he was, you know, he had a mask or something. And so we knew they were going to be scary because the kids hate, you know, fantasy. They're scared of that shit. So we get all excited. And I bring the first group of kids around. It's the first go of the night, and we turn around the corner. The first thing that scares him is my dad's friend jumps out, but he was a little drunk, and he slipped on the way down, and he screamed, which scared the kids because he had a mask on. But on the way down, he just slid down the trunk of the tree, and the bark just cut the shit out of the back of his legs, and he just dropped to the ground and started writhing on the ground. He's bleeding out. He's bleeding out. He's screaming, and at first the kids were like, "Ah!" But then they just saw that it was just our friend's dad that lives down the street, and that he was bleeding, and they just pointed and laughed at him, while all the rest of the parents were scared to death because we're like, we're gonna have to bring this fucking guy to the hospital. But all the kids in the neighborhood were like, "Ah, look, he cut himself!" and just screamed, and they just jumped up and were like, "That's it, haunted house is over, we're fucking done," and just sent all the kids home. And that was
the end of the Chantry Haunted House backyard
that was the
experience.
last one. That's the last one we ever had.
Oh wow, that's sad. They didn't even get past the tree.
Oh no, like there was people. We had to like find people like 20 minutes later. We're like, no, it's over. Just get out from behind. Yeah,
that's
from behind the bush.
unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I had a Halloween experience. So a little bit older. I was about 23, and I had some friends that were having this. They had this epic Halloween party every year at their frat house in UVA. And it was just everybody just absolutely dressed in these most elaborate costumes, and it was like the biggest like Halloween party in Charlottesville. So the day of it, I didn't have anything to go as, and I was like, I can go to something. So I was at a friend's house. Like, you got anything I can wear? And he's like, well, I got a Little League outfit. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I don't have any other choices. So I put on this Little League outfit, and I'm like 23 at the time. So like the pants come up to like here, and like the shirt's like really like got me squeezed in tight, and the hat's got the flat brim with the mesh.
So you look ridiculous.
So I look like an idiot. So I'm like, all right, but this isn't really like this can't be the end of the bit, like for Halloween, like there has to be some sort of like hook. So I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And then at that age you got this weird sense of humor, and I'm like, oh, I'll be John Holmes as a Little Leaguer, like the porno star, John Holmes. Which that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would anybody anyway? So,
I would assume John Holmes played Little League when he was
probably, a kid. Before things went downhill. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll be John Holmes, the Little Leaguer. So then, you still, I'm young and I got a dumb sense of humor, so I get a big tube sock and I put it on the front of the Little League outfit, so I look like John Holmes. And so
you're just a Little Leaguer with a monster dick.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so Little Leaguer with a giant cock. So anyway, it's the kind of thing where you got to be in the right frame of mind to pull this off. But I'm like, okay, I'm
you can be funny.
I'm pretty outgoing. It's like I can do this.
Funny,
yeah. So I'm kind of getting ready. I have a couple beers. I got this outfit ready. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have some fun. And then one of my buddies comes into the room right before going to the party. He goes, hey, does anybody want to do some magic mushrooms? So obviously the answer now would be, fuck no, get away from me, you creep. I'm not doing that. I'd have him arrested, but you're 23, you're like, okay. So do the magic mushrooms. Now if you're gonna do magic mushrooms, don't go to a place where adults are dressed as monsters. It's like you're on magic mushrooms and you're already kind of freaking out, and you're a little bit tweaked out, and now all these people are running around like maniacs. And then, especially you, because then you're dressed up like an idiot. So I just walked in and I just stood up against the wall. And for like 4 hours, it was just like this. And like everybody was like, hey, everybody's having fun and partying. It's just this creepy dude, just like up against the wall.
Who doesn't go to this school.
No, doesn't go to
Nobody
school.
knows.
Nobody knows. Just a guy with a little wispy mustache up against the wall over here.
Like you're on the Gravitron.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'm up against the wall. And finally this girl comes up, and I still remember, like, she was wearing she was dressed as duct tape. So she comes and
Wait,
she's
she was
like,
dressed as the utility tool duct tape.
right, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
she's just wearing an outfit that's just duct
Just
tape.
duct tape,
Yeah.
okay.
So no idea why she wanted to talk to the creeper against the wall, but she's like, "What are you supposed to be?" And I'm like, "John Holmes is a little leaguer." And then like after that, I like obviously she walked away completely horrified, and then that was the last time anybody spoke to me at the Halloween party. So anyway, don't do drugs. That's a long story. Stay off the drugs this Halloween season.
You said it as if it was the most obvious that, like, how could she not tell?
Yeah,
what,
duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Holmes was a little leaguer.
John Holmes is a little leaguer. But anyway, so that was that's today's lesson.
By the way, if you ever see Johnny out at a bar, that's also how he talks to people.
Yes, John Holmes is a little leaguer. All right, well, we got a very funny show. We got a very fun show tonight. We're gonna have a good time here. And without further ado, why don't we bring up your first guest, ladies and gentlemen? Please give it up for the very funny Brandon Vincent Jackson.
Evening. What did I tell you? I am gay. I don't have time to explain. So just had to take my word for it. Don't let this middle school wrestling hoodie fool you. I don't know why this still fits. I weigh about 80 pounds more than I did then. It's interesting. I was on the wrestling team in middle school. I won the award for most entertaining wrestler in a competitive sport. That was not the point. To be in it, I was entertaining. People try to bully me in school, and I will not fight you. I won't, but I will put on a show. Make fun of me if you want. It's just a lot of paperwork. No, I am gay. I'm not any good at it. Sometimes I forget. Then I see a cute guy, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm into that. I'm minimum gay. I'm the minimum amount of gay you can be and be aware of it. You know, like a priest. That's what I'm getting tonight is huffalls. Being gay and black caused a lot of conflict in my life. Internally. Especially in Chick-fil-A. One time I got really mad at Chick-fil-A because they gave me a soggy sandwich. I went up to the manager. I said, if y'all gonna be against gay marriage, this chicken's got to be right every single time. No days off. I am broke. I'm very broke. I have a master's degree in teaching, but I do not want to do that. I've had a lot of bad jobs, teaching jobs. I used to work at a youth prison, and I wasn't supposed to be there. I didn't realize as I started working there, all those kids that bullied me in middle school, they still make those. They never stopped. They'll call me out every day. They were like, Mr. Brown, you ain't about this life. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm the teacher. And you in jail. I don't know what you don't get about this. They'll threaten me. They're like, Mr. Brown, we see you outside, we're gonna fuck you up. I'm like, I go kayaking every weekend. You will never find me. I live in your world. Can't do hood stuff. My cousin keeps trying to take me to parties in the hood and I don't want to go because he's the same age as me. He's outside beefing. He comes in the house and says, yo, Brandon, these young boys is outside talking reckless. I'm like, yeah, that's what they do. Leave them alone. He's like, they say we not going to do nothing. I was like, well, how'd they know that? Told them that we were cowards. He's like, you got my back or not? Because I ain't going out like no punk. And I was like, good, because I'm not going out there either. I'm staying here. Turn the lights off. Maybe they leave. I had to go out. I had to have his back. As soon as I went outside, the young boys like, oh, Mr. Brandon, we thought you was kayaking. They couldn't spell it on me. They could tell I was a front of the bus kid. You know what I mean? I sat way in the front. My hand on the bus driver's shoulder like this. Hey, if I let go, come look for me. No, but I'm here now. In Philadelphia. I learned a lot about Philly from being here. I learned, you can tell a lot about a person about how west they live on Girard Avenue. Their voices are different. People, because of the gentrification. Be like, oh, I live on 3rd and Girard. I live above a flower shop. All right. So I live on 12th and Girard. I live above a hardware store / self-serve dry cleaner. I'm like, I didn't even know they did that. 30th and Girard. I live by the zoo, where they keep the lions. The farther west you go, people start to sound like Sauron from Lord of the Rings. 63rd and Girard. I live by a Save-A-Lot. It's not a grocery store. It's a non-profit that protects abandoned lots. Frodo, give it to me. Bring me the Septimax. I'll tell you guys one story before I get out of here. I heard a story about a guy in West Philly who was suing a strip club because one of the strippers stabbed him in the neck with a beer bottle. And they don't just do that. You just walk in there by accident and ask for directions. And they found out that the guy is a PCP dealer. So he's got no business suing nobody, especially a strip club. So they're interrogating him, and they're asking him questions. They say, hey, what were you doing in the strip club that night? And he was like, I was just minding my own business. I'm like, that's impossible. You can't mind your business in a strip club. Were you sitting in the back with a typewriter writing the Great American Novel? They tell you to leave. They keep investigating. They find out that he spends all his time in that strip club selling PCP, even though he's married. His wife is Asian. He can't spell her name. He can't spell his kids' names. He's not a sympathetic character whatsoever. So they're like, you said you were minding your own business in a strip club, but we found out that you sell PCP there. And he's like, yeah, I sell PCP. They're like, I thought you said you were minding your own business. He was like, PCP is my business. Like, dude, you can't. They were like, why did the stripper stab you? She was high. High on what? I don't know. They're like, dude, you can't go forward this case. You have no credibility whatsoever. And he's like, sure. I don't got credibility the way you look at it. Yeah, I'm a drug dealer. And yeah, I know how to spell my kids' names. I know how to spell a lot of things. You know what I can spell? PCP. That's my business. You guys have been great. Thank you very much.
Jess, come on, let's hear it for him. Great job, man. Very funny. What other place besides a strip club would you think a bottleneck stabbing could go down? Like where else? Like I feel like that's like the only place that it makes sense at. Like you could see it at Acme, I guess. Like they started selling beer.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that kind of beer buying situation. No. I live in South Philly. We have a beer store.
Yeah.
And it's just a little slice of hood that won't change. And the gentrification they got going on down in Point Breeze.
It's just stopped at the.
It's just like it hovers around it. It's just all the fucking rules break. I walked in there. There's teenagers in there. They got book bags on. It's Saturday. They're not in a group. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe they're just studying. They're on the way to the library, so they're just gonna pick up some beer.
I walked in and the kid was like, "I don't got a job. I sell heroin."
Right. That's a job. That's you don't sell yourself short.
You don't get W-2s for that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you get to avoid that. Now, but speaking of jobs, so you're Uber driving now.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you pick? I'm trying to think how to say it. Your favorite? Did you have favorite like riders, or like is it all just a blur when you're driving? Do you care? Did you? How much
I don't
did you
like picking up people in like Old City.
Yeah.
I don't even do it at night, and they're just people get in your car like you drive them around all the time. They just get in. Yes. I don't work for you. 7 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did you? I mean, did you break that barrier of like? I mean, were people super rude, or was it in general? Was it pretty like? Do people usually keep? I usually just keep to myself. Like I say hi, I do the greeting, and then I'm just like, just
I'm very good at reading people, so I know when people want to be talked to and when they don't want to be talked to. So I leave people alone if they don't want to be bothered.
Yeah. Let's try now. So like I was like, all right, you're Uber driving me, and it's like, oh, I'm not in Old City, so it's all right. I'm getting in South Philly. All right, you're driving, and say, hey, how you doing? You busy today?
Oh yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just heading to work.
All right.
And then I stab you in the neck with a beer bottle. I think that's how that would go down.
I didn't do anything.
That's all right.
All right.
Now speaking of doing so, you're a pretty smart guy, Brandon. And you're one of my. And by the way, one of my favorite comics. This is not a joke. One of my favorite comics in the city. You're so funny. We thought it would be fun to test your knowledge because you're a smart guy. You graduated college and you graduated just recently, right? Or you get your
I have a master's
degree now, right? So master's degree. Let's hear it for him. That's
please hire me.
Yes. Master's
I don't
degree.
need claps. I get enough.
So what we want to do, because you're a smart guy, we want to do a little quiz. So we're going to quiz you right now. Now, some of you may or may not know, we have the preeminent quiz master in the city of Philadelphia right here on the show. Let's bring him out right now, ladies and gentlemen. Quiz master Johnny Goodtimes. Let's hear him, Johnny Goodtimes.
All right, Brandon. Well, welcome to the program. And of course, your name is 3 words long.
Brandon Vincent Jackson.
So Brandon Jackson's a very common name.
Oh, that's why you added the Vincent in the middle?
I had no choice.
Okay. All right. So
is that your real middle name, or did you?
It's a family name.
Family name. Okay.
All right. So you have a 3-word name. We're going to find out some other people with 3-word names. You ready to play?
Oh, that's fun.
Okay. Got this.
All right. Here we go. First up, this actress starred in Party of 5, and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, I just watched that. It's a good movie. You know, Freddie Prinze Jr. is poor in that movie. Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That's correct. Yeah. All right. Nice work. What, Chip?
I'm just not a big Jennifer Love Hewitt fan.
All right.
I've just never been a big fan. But that's right. Okay, I'm sorry. Just keep going.
Nobody cares.
Keep going. Sorry.
All right. Here we go. Who invented the telephone?
Oh, Alexander Graham Bell.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. Well done. That is correct.
I mean, did he? I'm just saying, yes, he did. He did, legally he did, but really Elijah Gray was the one who invented it. He kind of stole from Alexander Graham Bell, really got to the patent office first, and so kind of stole the idea. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. I apologize. So Alexander Graham Bell, good. I'm sorry.
It's a 3. Nobody knows Elisha Gray's middle name. Nobody even
knows.
Has ever heard of him.
That's right. Good.
All right. Here we go. Who murdered Abraham Lincoln?
John Wilkes Booth.
That is correct.
God damn it!
What, Chip?
He just murdered. Abraham Lincoln is the greatest president in our history of our country, and he just murders them. These 3 fucking names, just comes right out and shoots them point blank. It's bullshit.
What's the deal here?
I'm just saying.
All right.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. Can we move on? Chip,
Yeah,
can you please just let us? I mean, we're trying to have a fun game.
No,
here.
yeah, we're having a good time.
Yeah, you're being all right. All right, here we go. Who killed JFK?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Motherfucker! I mean, you think that you 3 named people could just shoot any president you want. It's bullshit. We wouldn't even gotten into Vietnam if he was still around. Lee Harvey Oswald didn't shoot him with his 3 stupid names.
Brandon had nothing to do with the murder of JFK. It's a complete coincidence.
No,
it's 3.
Just go on your stupid fucking quiz, John. It's ridiculous.
All right. Next question. Here we go. Just friendly game check.
No, it's fine.
Right. This serial murderer would dress up as Pogo the Clown before murdering his teenage victims.
John Wayne Gacy.
You got it. All right. That's it. John Wayne Gacy dressing up as a clown, then murdering children. All right. All right. Here.
It's a new thing.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's wrap it up with this one. And let's see. For all the marbles. This singer had a monster hit with the song "Achy Breaky Heart."
You motherfucker! This is bullshit!
No,
get out! Get out with your 3 names! Hillary starts bullshit!
Jesus Christ! All right, so Brandon Vincent Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Vincent Jackson. I don't know what happened to Chip. I don't know what the problem was with Billy Ray Cyrus, but man. All right. So you all right, Chip?
I'm sorry. It's all right. Let's hear it one more time for 3 names. It's very funny. Brandon Vincent Jackson.
All right. Well, we're going to bring up Steve Gerber in just a minute, but we wanted to do a little piece I wrote a while back, and it's an actual true story. Chip talked about his childhood earlier. I'm going to talk a little bit about my childhood, and it was my Little League team. I played on, quite honestly, the worst baseball team at any level ever put together. And I thought, you know, what would it be like? What would it have been like if during that season, during the 1984 Rotary season, there had been a play-by-play guy and a color commentator for my team, which once again was the worst team ever. And everything I'm about to say in the story, this is all true. Now, some names have been changed to protect the guilty, but all of the things you're going to hear are true. This is all from actually my Little League.
So this is all real. This is
this was 1984. This was my world.
I'm excited. All right.
Hello, baseball fans, and welcome to the final game of the 1984 Rotary Little League team. Tom, it's been a rough season for the Rotary squad. They've lost every game this year by 17 or more runs for a record of 0-14. Tom, what will they need to do to win today's game?
They'll need to sign Mike Schmidt or Nolan Ryan. Otherwise, this team of uncoordinated clowns couldn't beat a collection of 5-year-old retarded homos.
Tom, you can't say that.
Sure I can. It's 1984.
Well, regardless, it's going to be tough for Rotary to knock off the JCs. The JCs led by pitcher Matt Robinson and second baseman Davey Palmer. Palmer always wears Billabong shirts and has a really hot girlfriend named Vicky.
That'd be pretty creepy if any Rotary players remembered those facts over 30 years from now.
Sure would, Tom. The one thing the Rotary squad does have more than other teams in the league is sets of twins. They have two. In left, they've got Bobby Moore, the skinny, quiet Moore boy who could care less about baseball. And in center, they've got his brother Frank.
Frank's a real redneck asshole.
That's right, Tom. Earlier this year, you'll remember he kept yelling at assistant coach David Outen during pregame fielding practice, telling him he was too fat to hit it into center field. Outen responded by sending a screamer into center that unbelievably hit Frank right in the forehead.
Sent him right to the hospital, Merv.
True story, Tom. But that's not the only set of twins on this team. The team also features a couple of chubby Mexicans, Larry and Barry Gonzalez.
They hate each other, Merv.
They sure do, Tom. Furthermore, you have to wonder about Coach Turner putting Larry in right field and Barry at first base. Really gives them a chance to cuss each other out in Spanish the entire game. At second base, the Rotary features Dee Harmon, not a bad player, only 8 years old.
Too bad he's only 2 feet 7 inches tall.
At shortstop, the Rotary features Johnny Goodtimes.
What a little bitch this kid is.
Whoa, 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 Merv, settle down.
No, seriously, I will whip this kid's ass.
Well, I will say if precedent holds, Goodtimes will start crying sometimes around the 3rd inning and not stop until he falls asleep later this evening. He hates losing, and he plays for the worst baseball team ever assembled. At third base, you've got DJ Outen, a 6'4", 85-pounder with the greatest white boy afro I've ever seen.
DJ set the league for errors in a season midway through the first game of the year.
Dory Johnson at catcher, the best player on the team. His jerry-curled father is at every game with his white girlfriend.
And since this is the South in the early 1980s, nobody has a problem with it.
On the mound is Bobby Butler. He's got an earring, but no fastball. All right, up to the plate staves Davey Palmer. Here's the pitch. Grounder to third through DJ's leg.
No surprise there, Merv.
Into left field. Looks like Bobby is out there putting buttercups under his chin to determine if he likes butter.
Never understood that trick. I mean, you know, who doesn't like butter anyway, Merv?
Good point, Tom. Well, the ball's just lying out there, and Palmer is going to march on home with a leadoff homer. Not the way the Rotary wanted to start this game, Tom.
And yet, pretty much the same way they've started every game this year.
Matt Dalby at the plate. Here's the pitch. It's a grounder to second. This should be an out. Uh-oh. Looks like Larry was telling Barry that he was Tonto del Culo.
An idiot of the ass.
Barry responded with, Quieta el stupido elefante.
Shut up, you stupid elephant.
Anyway, Barry didn't realize the ball had been hit. Dalby safe on first. Harmon holds the ball. Up comes Phil Carter. Here's the pitch. Pop fly into center field. Frank talking to the scoreboard girl, telling her about his grass cutting. He's not going to get to that one.
He's a redneck, so he does have a sweet grass cutter.
Well, that ball's going to drop into center field. Nobody coming over to give Frank any help. Looks like Bobby out left is eating ladybugs, and Barry just told Larry that he's a come mierda.
A shit-eater, Merv.
That's going to be another home run.
The umpire is running out to center field to retrieve the ball himself. This team is beyond pathetic, Merv.
Unbelievable. Another pitch from Butler. This one hit to shortstop. Good times already fighting back tears.
What a pussy.
But he fields the ball and throws to first. Oh, too bad Troy isn't covering. Just told Roy, me cago en tus muertos.
I shit on your dead relatives.
Strange thing to say to your brother, Tom. The ball goes to the backstop where Corey's dad is kissing that white lady.
Look who's coming to dinner, Merv. I'll give you a hint. It's not exactly Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier didn't have a gold tooth, Tom. Rogers moving to second. DeMond goes chasing after the ball, picks it up and throws it down to third base to try to get Rogers. Great throw. Hits out in the glove, and the glove falls off his hand and tumbles into left field where Billy has built an igloo.
Where did he get all that snow from, Merv?
All right, there you have it. That was my 1984 Little League team.
Worst ever assembled.
Worst ever assembled. This, the following is the true story. In one game that year, we played the top of the first inning, lasted until darkness. And when the umpire finally called it due to darkness, the score was 39-0, still in the top of the first inning. So that gives you an idea of how truly bad that team was. But I am proud to say that 3 years later, we did win the league championship. So thank you very much. That is entirely true.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Johnny Good Times. It was horrible. Horrible baseball team. Something that's not horrible coming up right now. It's pretty tremendous. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on stage right now one of my favorite people on earth. He's extremely hilarious, but he's also quite the scholar. And he's done over the past couple years here and some other venues a series of these talks about a wide variety of topics that he really investigates, and it's really informative and really interesting, and we just wanted to sit down and talk to him. So he's going to come out and talk to you just for a little bit, and then we're going to sit down and talk to him about his new topic right now. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Steve Garvin.
Thank you, guys, very much. Right, so, okay, this talk, this is going to be horrible for the next 15 minutes. I hate doing this to you as an audience. I really wish I had something very concrete and prepared. I tried to give this talk, didn't go as I needed it to go. So I need to learn how to articulate this topic better, and then add jokes to it. So I have nothing other than to blather at you. But what I would ask is that, as in like getting a feel for where people disagree with sort of what I'm talking about, or where maybe I'm confusing with my language, just call out. I know I'm wearing glasses, but I can't see shit. So, you know, I don't feel obligated to, but if at any point you're like, I disagree, you can be like, I disagree, and then we'll talk. And I think this is only going to go 15 minutes tops, and then I'll release you. Well, the basic idea, the premise of the talk is about progress and how it's very, not only how we make progress through this method that's effectively boils down to trial and error correction, but that progress is a very important thing to keep making as quickly as we possibly can. And while, like, on the surface that sounds like, oh, okay, sure, whatever, when you dive into it, I think a lot of people would end up disagreeing with that. Because we can look at the progress that we've made and see bad things, like global warming, or the treatment of animals, or nuclear proliferation. And so when you have somebody saying, we need to do that, and we need to do more and more and more of it, you're like, ugh, you're going to kill us all. So, to start, I think what I need to do in the talk is to attempt to disabuse people of the idea of like a romanticized sort of Rousseauian past. I really do feel like a lot of people think that there's like a way to live where you're kind of like in harmony with, you know, like nature, I suppose, even though, as you can tell, the wheels have already come off. But that the past, like if we stop making progress, to be blunt, we're dead. You could take this to its extreme, just insofar as like the sun is going to swell up at a certain point and kill every living thing on the planet. So if we want to prevent that atrocity from happening, we're going to need to create as much knowledge as possible, which is inevitably going to create problems, which then we need to create new knowledge to solve those problems. and that's a never-ending process. But the moment we stop it, which most civilizations throughout history have done, we're dead. And they stop it through claiming a final answer of any kind, which would be like most tribes had, you know, their gods. Or you could even have political ideologies like communism. And do you guys want to jump in now and add some humor to it?
I think you're doing great.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, well, now, so let me ask you this. What if we just found, like, the one thing that I go to is like environmental. Let's just say that. Let's just say we found like something, you know, whether it's wind energy or whatever, you know, solar, and we figured out a way to go basically completely carbon free. We figured out a way to clean up the oceans, you know, clean up the air, and we're carbon neutral as an entire world. What's I think I know the answer, but what's wrong with that then?
Well, nothing would be wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right now, though, the data, the consensus is, and this is obviously prone to change, is that we're already too late with global warming.
Right.
So what that means is we're going to need a technological solution to it to cool the planet manually, which we can do, just like we'll do on Mars or anywhere that we spread out through the universe.
Just to get the temperature livable.
Correct.
Yeah.
It just seems like a really bad thing to people to say that. And I think a big reason why is because we just haven't, there's been no experience with that yet. So it's this new thing, and you talk about tampering with the environment, you go, well, a lot of bad can happen out of that, and that's true.
Yeah.
But a lot of bad's going to happen if we don't do anything.
Well, what's an example? You said there's other civilizations that have ended because of they grew complacent or what have you.
Sure.
Like, what's an example of?
Well, I mean, you could, like, the Easter Islanders are a good example. They had Easter Islanders, you know, from the big stone faces that they build, and what they just built the same exact face over and over. And as they were dying out, there's debate as to what killed them, either deforestation or just rats and whatever. But the one thing that we do know is that as they were dying out, they kept building more and more of the exact same faces. So they that was their answer on how to solve their problems, and it was a bad one.
Building the same face over and over?
Right, yes, yeah. Well, because that had to be a god of some kind, but or whatever it was, ancestors. But actually, like 99% of civilizations that have ever existed are gone, and just like species, 99.9% of all species are gone.
Yeah.
So,
Rotary Little League teams.
Yeah. Gone.
Yeah.
So the point is, though, is that it can seem very arrogant to talk about like Western values, and again, this is where I start to run a very tight line where all of a sudden it starts to sound very alt-right. And actually, what I'm telling you earlier by saying we need to keep making progress, and yes, we've done some bad things, but if we don't do these bad things, we're not going to be okay. That's like, I'm Hitler. It's like so close to that ideology. And
I guess so. I mean,
because what I'm saying is the ends justify the means to some degree.
Right.
It's just that my ends are different than Hitler's, obviously.
Right. Are they? Yeah. We got to disagree.
We got to disagree.
Disagree. Go ahead.
Oh, it seems like going back like the vicious circle thing you're talking about, where problems generate truth, which generate other problems, and it's kind of an endless cycle. Wouldn't truth be a quest to find out what is real, and what is real does have limitations, whereas the problems are generated by people which don't have limitations? So ultimately, if theoretically, if we knew everything, we could still generate new problems, but the truth would have reached its limit?
Well, I would disagree insofar as that we could know everything. I would disagree with that. So.
I know a lot.
I mean, like, if
I host Quizzo, so I mean, I know a lot.
Well, if you believe that premise, then I can see how you would come to that conclusion. I just don't really accept the premise, because the whole idea is that every ideology that ends into totalitarianism claims to have the final answer, claims to know everything, when really the scientific method and really a way of generating all knowledge, be it moral or science, is to say that we don't know, that all of our best theories are incomplete, and they always will be. Much in the same way that Newtonian physics describes reality so well that we experience, but then we can have Einstein come along and say, this thing that you call gravity isn't real. There's no such thing. It's just a bend in space-time.
But don't you think we're still closer to an objective truth than we were 2,000 years ago?
Again,
Scientifically at least, so that the problems are becoming slimmer?
Or at least we can define them, right? Like we know more about the problems, I would assume, right?
well,
Yeah.
I think we're creating more problems at a faster and faster clip, but that doesn't.
We're creating more solutions
at a faster and faster clip, and that's what'll happen continuously. But you keep talking about the truth, like that is something that, again, like Karl Popper's big contribution to the scientific method was to say that this idea that we can have perfect or know certain truth doesn't exist. That what we can know, though, is what's not true. So this is fallibilism, right? If I say to you, all swans are white, can I ever prove that true? No, because no matter how many swans I observe, you'd be like, well, all swans born in the future, will they be white? Have you observed every single swan? But if I tell you all swans are white, and we observe just one black swan, then we've falsified that statement. We know for a fact that not all swans are white. And so this is the way we make progress. We start with a theory. We start with a problem. We come up with theories to attempt to solve that problem. We systematically go through and bring criticism to bear on those theories, attempting to falsify them. And when we get to one theory that tries best as we can to falsify, we cannot, and it explains more about reality than our pre-existing theories, we call that new knowledge, but it's still not certain truth, and never will be. So that's just, again, like I just disagree with the premise.
I have a question.
Sure.
It sounds like the problem you're having, so you personally, as you would describe it, the problem, or one of the big problems you're having, is that thing you just brought up, that it kind of veers into what you called alt-righty, territory.
Sure.
Can you get into more specifics then about what the difference is there? You know what I mean?
Well, the racism.
Well,
I don't like. I guess the difference being that you would say right now it's very fashionable to say things like nobody can say which cultures are better, and there are objectively cultures, if you accept my premise, that are better, cultures that solve problems and that allow for the open-ended knowledge creation by not limiting criticism. This is what we would call the West. And then there are cultures that don't allow, women to whatever. I mean, like most. And so that the difference there is that I wouldn't say that we should, attack or do like imperialist things, but just to notice what we have, why it's so important to have it, and then to preserve it and pass it along to our children.
And take it and build
And
from
build it,
there.
yeah.
Like big walls?
Like what?
Like big walls.
Like big
Like,
walls.
I don't get it.
Big walls.
I don't get it.
Donald Trump's
Donald
president.
Trump.
Oh, the big walls. Yeah,
He wants to build a giant
yeah.
wall. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not particularly for a big wall.
No.
Yeah. I'm for more getting as many people as we can into the knowledge creation business, which like we can do here. So as like you would know from other talks, like I'm for increasing immigration as a result. There's so many minds that don't have a chance, but we need as much as we can get.
And diverse minds.
Sure.
So yeah, because part of his immigration talk was your
But
stop me if I'm wrong, but like
yeah.
your thesis was we need to encourage more immigration to get more people, some differing views and
Sure,
yeah.
or just allow them to flourish.
Yeah.
Or are the robots gonna kind of make us all obsolete?
I don't know. I don't know
Anyway.
enough about that. I mean, like the whole.
I mean, we're talking
David-
4.5 billion years before the sun burns out. Do you still think it's going to be humans that are coming up with the
I
solutions?
think it would be we like
get us out of
meld
this-
with them at some
Okay.
point. I know that's. Well, like Elon Musk already has like a neural link that he's or neural web that he's working on. So get ready for that.
Wait, so he's just gonna like plant into his brain?
Yeah, it's like a mesh. I mean, like right now, what they could do is insane with an implant that you can control an arm.
I've seen RoboCop. Yeah, I know what they can do.
He knows how it works.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Anything about God and religion and all you're talking about?
No, I mean that would be no, I wouldn't. I mean that's another like final answer sort of thing where it would say, we can stop here because we've gotten the final piece of knowledge here, and I think that in any form is just not good. So I know that's another part that's offensive.
What do you think of the biggest, if we kind of wrap up on this, is there a biggest problem right now that you see, environmental, political, whatever it is, what do you think the biggest problem is that we're facing as a species right now?
Well, that's a good question. I'm sorry, I don't have like I feel like my answer would be very ignorant. Yeah.
What do you guys think it is? What do you think the biggest problem is right now? Let's solve it. Let's solve it in this room. Let's solve it.
National sovereignty.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be. It goes along with his immigration talk, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you guys for your time. I appreciate
and by the way, if you guys come back next month, he's going to have all the answers and solve everything.
yeah,
So,
we'll have the answers by next month. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be half robots by then. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for Steve Jarman.
It is pretty rare that you go from a talk about the sun exploding into your next hip-hop artist, but that is exactly what we're going to do here tonight. So very excited to have my favorite MC in the city of Philadelphia, and certainly one of the best in the country here tonight. He is going to serenade you with a song, and then we're going to come out and do a little interview and play a little game. So please welcome to the stage Reef the Lost Cause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is a brilliant flow. Definitely didn't set me up for failure at all. It's very deep, moving talk, and I'm not about to do that at all. That guy, I had to go get high during that, man. I came back, and then I fucked up because I was like, I shouldn't have got high and came back in. I should have just stayed outside, because when I came back, you guys were like talking some like really deep shit, and I appreciate that, but I just shouldn't have done that. All right, so I'm gonna do a rap song now. You can turn the beat down because it's, yeah, I want to talk more. I'm not gonna be too crazy, but I want to talk about true love tonight. So it's kind of in the theme of what he was talking about, There's something in my life that I love more than, anything in this world, and that's my phone. I can't live without my phone. I can't live without my phone. You are everything to me. You are my world. I'm on my phone all the goddamn time. I'm on my phone right now, writing this goddamn rhyme. People talking in my ear, but I never hear them speaking. I'm too busy checking Gmail, taking pics and tweeting. Fuck the outside world, this is my life. I just put up a new post, I'm waiting for likes. Please leave a thumbs up, please leave a comment. I'm on my phone so much, all my people wanna vomit. I'm texting, flexing, erasing all the spamming. Took a pic of my dinner, about to Instagram it. Billions of people on this planet, and our phone took our fucking brains and reprogrammed it. Nowadays it's hard for me to actually talk, and I can't believe when people use their phone to call. Straight to voicemail. No disrespect, but man, I'm on my phone. Next time, just send a text. I'm on my phone. I can't live without my phone. Text me, text me, text me. I can't live without my phone. Listen, I'm on my phone. No time to converse with friends unless they like to journal a game of word with friends. Angry nerds praying angry birds. Chicks saying that they hate they man. Now that's an angry bird. The internet has made it so there is nothing sacred. From sex to love making, it's all status updated. It's just like high school, and this is the lunchroom. So trying to impress dudes and get a girl to fuck you, nothing the same. Now we do it without worry, because instead of doing beans, we now talk to Surrey. And that's down with no worry. I fucked up the verse cause my brain's kinda blurry. I'm sorry guys, I told you before I got high, so I can't finish the song the way I wrote it, but that's fine, cause I can freestyle out straight to the chorus. Make some noise cause I got through it, man. Yeah, that's through it. When you get the fucking point, man. I really like my fucking phone, man. There's a lot going on in there. It's awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Reap the Lost Cause.
I was like, yo, I'm almost, you ever like, you like in something, you're like, you're almost there. And then when you hear yourself say you're almost there, you fuck up. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, you're almost there, man. You know what I mean?
That's the worst voice. That's the worst voice. You get overconfident.
Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, you're a tiger. You're a warrior. You know? Serenade.
So you actually are just coming from a show, is that correct?
Yeah, I performed at the TLA tonight for the Locks and West Side Gun. And yeah, my friend Ren Thomas, who's a great MC, he brought me up to rap. It was pretty cool, man. You know what I mean? But it was a lot of old guys in do-rags. For those, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Locks, but they're like 90s hip-hop, you know? So there's like a lot of old, tough guys there. Like, yeah, I have a razor in my boot, you know what I mean? So I got the fuck out of there as quick as possible. Came here. I was like, this is much more safe. They're selling candy in the lobby. So that's the move.
All right, so how?
That's the great thing about Philadelphia, though. Like, you can go from that to that, and it's never weird. Just like, yeah, I guess so.
Just a smooth transition. Yeah. Put the razor back in your boot. I'm going to get some Skittles and talk about the sun blowing up.
That's how the sun's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So how long have you been? How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this since I'm about to be 36. I've been doing it quote unquote professionally for 20 years, which means 16 years. Sorry, 16 years. Which means I've wasted 16 years of my life. So it's been, you know what I mean? Like, just being an independent artist is like, you guys know, I mean, I'm sure there's people here that's just like, you know, some months it's steak and lobster, some months it's like oodles and noodles, you know what I mean? And that's a very weird place to be in, you know what I'm saying? And there's mad highs and lows. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I mean, honestly, I don't know why we do this to ourselves, honestly.
Right, so you've performed, what's a particularly memorable performance? I mean, you've been all over the world. You've played, I mean, numerous continents.
Yeah, man, I would probably say, well, there's been a lot of like big ones, but there's also ones that are most memorable, and the most memorable is I was on tour with this guy named Ari the Rugged Man and another MC named C. Rays Walls, and we're in this like little town in Germany. This is the greatest show ever. I'm gonna tell you why. It's kind of weird, but like I'm a kid from the 80s, so just imagine like this is like Delta Force shit. We're in this show, and R.A., for those that don't know, R.A. the Rugged Man, you should definitely look him up. He's an incredible MC, incredible, and his live show is bonkers. Long story short, there's a kid in the front in a wheelchair, and R.A.'s wilding out, and he kicks the kid in the face in the wheelchair. And the people of this small German, maybe Swiss town, I can't remember, it was somewhere in that region. There's definitely a lot of people that, you know. So there began to be you know, it was about to go down.
So they took it as a negative when their handicapped friend got kicked in the face.
And C. Rays Walls is just as wild as I. This is another guy that's just like out of his mind, bonkers. And dude, they like, I don't know how it happened or what, but all of a sudden there's like, you know, all these people around them like, you mother, and they went back to back. In my whole life, I've been waiting to see two men go back to back. Like, you never see that. That's the movies, dude. Two dudes, like, literally, like, let's do this. And, like, you know, once they did that, everyone was like, yeah, they just went back to back. And that was the greatest show.
So we're at an interesting time. Last week, Eminem obviously dropped a verse that was pretty critical of the president. And you're from a time, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s when rap was, there was a lot of rappers who were doing a lot of conscious stuff. And then it kind of went down the gangster route. And do you think that there's starting to be, because of sort of the Trump factor, do you think we're going to go back to seeing socially conscious rap also be popular rap? Because there's been kind of a divide, right?
For sure. I think we're at a point now where you're seeing a lot more socially conscious rappers with the Kendricks and the Coles and Joey Badasses and Chance. You know what I mean? Like, you just see a lot of rappers that are bringing a lot more positivity, a lot more awareness, and then they're also doing it with their actions. So I think we're starting to head that way, and I obviously think that, you know, what's happening in the world is going to increase that. It has to. I mean, if not, then what are we here for? You know what I mean? We can still party. I don't hate on the party records, but we definitely need more of the message right now, because the quickest way to get, you know, in someone's head and their mind is through music, man. Yeah. So if you're feeding them some shit that's letting them know, like, be aware, be awake, help your fellow man, you know what I mean? Don't fall for the bullshit. That's going to help a lot, I think. So. Right.
So what's in the future for you?
Well, there is a box with a man on it on top of my refrigerator. He's wearing a captain's outfit. His name's Captain Crunch.
All right.
And in that refrigerator, brother, where that box is at, ice cold milk.
Oh my! Oh man!
So when you ask me what's in the future for me, in the condition that I'm clearly in, it's a motherfucker.
Well, what kind of Captain Crunch?
It's just a regular. I don't do peanut butter or all that other stuff. But yeah, I'm working on a new record. You guys can follow me at Lost Cause on all social media. And yeah, man, that's about it. Yes.
All right. Well, before we let you go,
I forgot about this part.
Yeah, you better.
You guys ready to see some shit?
Yeah. So here's how it's going to work. Some of you guys might know there is a guy named Sway who does a morning show and does a great morning show, and he always brings these rappers on, does the interviews, and then he does something called the 5 Fingers of Death. But we figured, you know, Reef's already proved it over 16 years. He can rap over hot beats anytime he wants to. But we wanted to see how he could do over yacht rock beats. So we're gonna do the 4 Dingies of Death, and we're gonna see what Reef has. And when we get to the choruses, if anybody wants to join in,
please join in.
Please feel free to join in on the choruses. Yeah. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh yeah, this is a classic right here. Yeah, this is.
Just point to me when I'm supposed to start rapping.
Okay, all right. Yeah, this is one of the all-time great yacht rock hits. K-19.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right.
Yeah, we rocking in here. This is weird. Johnny, I don't know what the rap about, but I'm telling you it's weird. I said that twice. I'm mad nice. Roll the dice. I'm like mice in a hole. Yo, I come through with the soul. You know it. The poet, the rhyme flow that come with the illness. I be spilling it and feeling it live from Philadelphia at the Good Comedy. When you rhyme, you be following me. I be dropping them Z's, I be dropping them MCs. Everybody that step up, they just freeze. MCs get ripped up into fleas, into partitions. I'm just getting warmed up. Am I supposed to start singing?
Right or wrong.
Right or wrong.
All right, it's right. Yeah,
one down. One down. Here we go. Big hip hop.
Yeah, go right into this one. Kill it. Go for it.
Oh, I thought I was waiting. I was looking at him. Give me the signal. Yeah. This is my smooth rap, baby. Can you see? You're everything to me. I just want you to be with me. Sing along, people.
Just can't live without you.
Baby, come back to me, girl.
You don't own me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
Yeah. Yo, make some noise if you feeling it. Yeah, this is the realest shit. The real hip-hop off the top when I rock, live from Chinatown. Yeah, I rhyme around. This the end of the set, we about to wind it down. Yeah, and we killed it, nothing fancy. About to go on the lobby and buy me some candy. Yeah, they got Skittles, they got Reese cups. Yeah, I need to eat enough to fill my belly.
Makes me feel fine. Going through the you guys all to sing along. This is the final one. Here it comes.
Yeah, you know I make them flow. Representing, rhyming over all that Harlan Oaks. Yeah, that's that Philly soul, that old glow. Yo, my soul, so, yo, the pro, cross you out like X and O. The lost cause, stay on point like Decimo. When I spit this, dismiss this. More gifts than Christmas, relentless. Yeah, I spit them good rhymes with my brother Johnny Good Times and my man Chip. Yeah, we rip, this that real hip hop shit. Yeah, 215 man, on the tip. Yeah, yeah.
Gone too far, and you know it don't matter anyway. Don't get too far, get too far. Don't you jump.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reef the Lost Cause! All right. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank Brandon Mixon Jackson for opening up the show. Steve Gervin for his performance. And once again, I want to thank Reef the Lost Cause for coming out here tonight as well. Most of all, I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much for joining us on a Monday night. My name's Johnny Good Times. This is Chip Chantry.
Have a good night. Come back to Good Comedy. So many good shows every night of the week. Have a great night. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to We Have Fun. If you like the show, please leave a couple bucks in donation bin on your way out. 100% of that money goes to Chip and Johnny. Helps them keep doing this show every month. Drop a couple bucks in the bucket if you can. Come on back tomorrow night and every other night for the rest of your life. Do Good Comedy Theater.